Christmas bitch.
1, 2, 3, 4!
Little Johnny! I have such wonderful news!
What is it, John Sleigh?
It's a letter from the Urion Academy. Little Billy has been accepted, and he starts his training immediately.
Ooh, what?
You boys better enjoy your Christmas Eve now, as it will likely be the last you'll spend together. Oh, Urion!
I don't believe it.
It's great news, isn't it?
It's terrible news. They're splitting us up.
What do you mean, little Johnny? This is my dream, to train at the finest institute of Christmas music in the world.
But what about the band? What about a sleigh ride?
Grow up, little Johnny. Sleigh ride is a pipe dream. It's a fun kids game, but it's never really going anywhere. With the training I received at Juilliard Academy, I'll finally be a real Christmas musician.
You already are a real Christmas musician, but now you're just a tinsel-titted sellout.
Should have known you'd be too selfish to be happy for me.
Little Johnny didn't mean what he had said. He'd seen his brother in the bathtub and knew that he didn't have tinsel tits, but he was angry and needed a way to keep the band together. So he got down on his knees and turned to the only source of comfort and advice he could think of.
Dear Santa, I've been a very good boy this year, but all I want this Christmas is to keep the band together. So please, 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 you've got to use all your magical Christmas power to do something.
And that's when it dawned on him.
Wait, if I could get Santa's personal endorsement for Sleigh Ride, we'd be the biggest Christmas band in the world. We really wouldn't need to go to Juilliard Academy, because we'd already be famous.
So little Johnny set up an elaborate trap to capture Santa as he came through the chimneys. But alas, little Johnny dreamt too deeply of sugar plums that night, and when his trap was finally sprung, it was little Billy, not little Johnny, who first arrived on the scene.
Hello? Hello, who's there? Santa? Santa, is that really you? Santa! Santa, no!
His brother's screams awoke little Johnny, and he arrived at the scene just moments too late.
Little Billy? Santa? What is this? Sweet son of Mary! It's a gun!
The police would chalk up little Billy's disappearance as a runaway, but little Johnny knew the truth. Little Billy had been abducted by the vile criminal Santa Claus to be used in his diabolical schemes. And that night, little Johnny...
No! Not little Johnny! Little Johnny's dead! John Sleigh! John Sleigh!
And that night, John Sleigh, overcome with guilt and heartbroken that his last words he spoke to his brother were out of spite, abandoned his musical pursuits and vowed to revenge his brother no matter how many lives it cost.
Better watch your fat red ass, Santa! I'm gunning for you!
And so like Jesus of the Bible or Cain of Kung Fu, Sleigh took off on a global trek of adventure and self-discovery. In far-off India, at the rock shelters of the British, he discovered that the entire cosmos is situated within his own body, and he was taught to access the door of the central conduit and drink the nectar. Along the islands of Tierra del Fuego, he tasted all three of the beers marketed under the brand name Beagle. And in the New York City borough of Queens, he got his first handski from a Latino transvestite streetwalker.
She said she was post-op.
He encountered many interesting people along the way,
Hey there, handsome.
and eventually found his way to the premier university for Christmasological studies, searching for any snatch of information that would assist in the pursuit of the villainous Saint Nick. Indeed, his search yielded a bounty of snatches. One snatch in particular proved far more interesting than Sleigh could have ever imagined.
We find evidence of the first elven communities approximately 300 million BC, although elven society in its current conception dates closer to 10,000 BC, about the time of the first interaction between the elves and the humans. I propose that the modern-day Christmas elf is a product of millennia of mind control programs enacted by the elves to hinder the encroaching human population. I further propose that the elves specifically invented Christmas as a way of marketing conformity to children, thusly controlling all humans. Studies have shown that children readily engaged with Christmas by the age of 8 years old will be much more susceptible to suggestion over the rest of their lives. This has led to the current reward-punishment system recognized as the naughty and nice list. You can see examples of typical naughty and nice behavior above me. It seems we are out of time today, class. We will pick this up next week. Please help yourself to soy eggnog and sugar cookies.
The class was dismissed as the soft sound of Cisco's thong song floated through the window. John Sleigh meandered over like a family member at an AA meeting for some free treats. Reaching down for the last glass of eggnog, his hand bumped into something warm and fleshy, and he looked up to stare into the eyes of what might have been the finest piece of ass he'd ever stood close enough to get a whiff of. Startled, the young lady dropped a cookie from her dainty hand.
Oh my! Oh geez, sorry. I don't know what the bounds of holly has gotten into me today. It's like I'm one day behind on my advent calendar and I just can't eat enough chocolate to catch up.
That's okay. I think I know just how you mean. My name's Sleigh, John Sleigh.
I'm Holly Day. You don't look like a student.
I'm not. I made a promise, one I intend to keep. I'm here to find out everything I can about Christmas and this little Mr. Santa Claus.
Well, what do you think of Professor Nickleby?
To be honest, most of what he said kind of went over my head, but he seems pretty learned. Thanks for kidding.
Well, he's the premier Christological theatrician in the Northern Hemisphere, although he's a little too speculative for my taste. His theories about the elves are particularly disturbing. I personally don't think that there's enough evidence to suggest that they have any malevolent intentions. Oh, look at me, rambling on. I must be boring you to death. I have a tendency to ramble when I'm nervous.
Actually, I find everything you have to say to be utterly captivating, and you have no reason to be nervous. In fact, I'm going to touch your arm.
You're very sweet. Sweeter than a peppermint stick wrapped in fudge.
You're smart. Sexy too. Heck, you got dumps like a truck. Thighs like what? The way you move your butt? I want to see it again.
Oh, Sleigh, you sure know how to talk to a woman. I'm moister than Grandma's fruitcake.
Please, call me John. Only my hookers call me Sleigh. And forgive me if I'm wrong, but isn't that mistletoe?
Oh, John!
Every year, Christmas is a reminder of the vows they had made. And so, after a mere 12 hours of bliss, the brutal reality of Christmas came crashing down upon the married couple.